sector.
I'm much prouder of where I live now than I used to be, and I will admit that.
I'm extremely proud to be NR5. I'm extremely proud of my community.
When you get out there and you meet the people, it makes you humble and it makes you proud to be a part of that.
To be fair, it doesn't really feel like a job. It feels like we are just going into the community and we're listening. But, you know, that's the ripple effect that we have.
You're listening to Community Unboxed, the podcast that showcases the power of community by voicing the people that make it so. Follow us as we drop in on our nearby social groups and discover what special item our connectors and members of the community have chosen to put in our imaginary shoebox.
Hello, I'm Rainey.
And I'm Sonya.
And we are your North Earlham
Community Connectors. We've been in the job now for 3 years.
I thought this job would give me the opportunity to listen to my people's voices, to ensure that each and every one of their voices can be heard, and to obviously get to know what is needed within our community.
So we didn't really know what we were doing when we started.
No, we went in blind.
It was a very broad job description. Go and talk to people, drink tea, write your conversations down. That was pretty much the summary in the beginning. But we went out and about, and I think I knew about a lot of the organisations within the community, and I had attended groups and things. But it was a drop in the ocean compared to actually what happens where we live. I like to think that there are people out there who definitely have become more involved because of what we've done.
Yeah, definitely. It's about finding everything what's happening locally and gathering that general knowledge and be able to signpost that and share that information with as many people as possible.
I think when I come to things with my partner, Brian, he's struck by the community, the sense of community. Like at your community meals, he said it's like being in the 60s and 70s because he imagines that that's what it was like, that community feel of coming together and sharing food and sharing stories. And I think we have that. We have that quite a lot all around our community. And I don't think people realise it. I think people just listen to the bad stuff and don't realise that there are actually people there who really care about each other. Rainey, she knows everything about the community and she cares so deeply for everybody and spends her whole life thinking about ways that what she can do to improve the community and to help people. And she's friendly and she's knowledgeable and she's, approachable.
Yeah, and I think we make a really good team. Where I fail in remembering a lot of people's names, Sonya is very, very good at that. Sonya's just very approachable. Working alongside Sonya, I feel that we complement each other very much in being North Earlham community connectors, and I think we've both learned from each other, and we've both grown together. I think that we've grown stronger together to benefit our community.
I think we complement each other very much. Rainey was born and bred on the estate, and she knows everybody, and she grew up there, whereas I've moved there kind of 17 years ago and my son was small. So I know the community, but I'm not, entrenched as part of it. So I think we look at things in different ways. Like we might meet somebody that Rainey's known for 20, 30 years, but I might have a very different conversation with them because I've only just met them. So they might tell me things that Rainey wouldn't necessarily think to ask them just because she knows. Whereas but then other people, Rainey could go deeper with them because she does have that pre-existing relationship with some people.
I think being a community connector, you get to speak to a lot of different people that I personally wouldn't have the opportunity to. What make me proud is listening to people's stories, things they've done in the past and things that they'd like to see in the future with our community. People start in groups from grassroots, asking us for our advice, and we're able to signpost people, especially the lonely and the people that are isolated at home. who didn't know what was happening within our community. So therefore, we were able to say, well, actually, there's a number of different groups and activities. Did you know? We then have a leaflet full of all dates, a bit of like a calendar, and that's got all dates, and that's a well circle of food of interest, and we'll give that to them. There's also people that we talk to who may not realise that they're entitled to extra benefits and stuff like that, or they realise they are, but they don't have any help to fill in the forms. So we're like, oh, pop down here, that's what they do. You'll get a warm welcome, cup of tea, and they're able to help you.
And sometimes we'll say to people, let me know if you want to go along, because we'll come along, we'll be there, so at least you'll have one sort of friendly face.
And it's also seeing the identifying sparks within our community, those that just got that little bit extra to make a difference in our community. And that's our place to, make a song and dance and to shout about that, and say, well done you. Without people like you, our community wouldn't be what it is today. A lot of people will complain about litter, and we're like, well, is there anything you can do about that? Well, no, not really. Well, actually, there is, because you can borrow people's litter picks, and you can arrange a local regular litter pick. Oh, I didn't realise we could do that. Yes, you can. And so it's just really planting the seeds and then letting the people grow with that and take leadership within the community.
And people do really have pride in the community, although you wouldn't necessarily know it or think it. Rainey's community group they painted a mural. There's a wall that goes around this alleyway that connects our estate to the main road. And it's not very well treated. Lots of bad things happen in there, illegal things. And Rainey had this idea, let's paint a mural, let's give it back to the community. And her community group did it in a week, the hottest week of the summer. You must have lost a few pounds sweating that week.
I got a good tan.
And people were just walking past, what are you doing? Let's let me
involved.
help, and putting handprints on the walls. And
so everybody was involved, from babies up to the elderly. The theme was nature, so children were doing handprints and turning them into butterflies. Children were chalking ideas and inspiration on the walls. And we were like, yeah, that's great, paint it. And the wall is massive. So how we did it in 5 days is we only done it because of the community coming together. And they've took great pride. 6 months later, there's no graffiti. There's more regular litter picks up there. And I'd like to think that there's less antisocial behaviour up there as well. But people take pride. I spoke to a partially blinded lady who says that she absolutely loves walking up there now, and the colour. And she says it takes twice as long now to walk up the alleyway because she don't want to miss anything in the process. And obviously being partially blind and now it's a lot brighter and more colourful, it helps her too. There was also people that wouldn't even walk up the alleyway because they felt intimidated, especially when it got dark. They're now actually using it as the shortcut, which it is supposed to be.
And did you hear a young person telling his friend, leave it alone,
yeah,
because my little sister's on that?
Yeah, there was a group of youths biked past out of interest to see what we were doing. And they were like, yeah, that's not very good. And another young person in the group was like, yeah, you're not touching that wall because my sister's handprint's on that wall. So he took ownership there and then. But that was just how the community come together. The plan was that I had an artist that was supposed to be drawing and they were supposed to paint it. But the community took leadership straight away and they were like, this is what we want. So we're like, you go with it. And so, yeah, that's just one project that community come together. And
people were bringing them drinks, bringing them ice lollies. It was a really great community event. For me, that was like a first. I hadn't really sort of seen that before. And I just was overwhelmed by it. It made you feel quite proud to be part of it. My handprints are on there. Little butterfly.
And I've done a black cat. But this is just how listening to the people saying about fly tipping up the alleyway, and I'll be like, well, you need to report that if you see
Dog's
any
mess.
Dog mess. They've said that they need the bins up there. How can we as a community make a difference? How can we change this? And because with the many different hats that I wear within my community, I was like, there's an opportunity, let's embrace it, let's bring the community together, let's make change. And that's exactly what we did. But without being a community connector, I would have never known that information. until I can listen to my people's voices.
I love, just how different people are, how many funny characters there are. Like, you can have some really interesting, funny conversations, and I like how people do care for each other. My car wouldn't start the other day. I had like 3 neighbours come out in the pouring rain to help me jump my car, and I think I would feel comfortable going and knocking on someone's door and asking for help in the area.
I don't know any different. I've lived in the North Earlham all my life. As Sonya then said, we look out for each other. My neighbours are my friends, and I know if I'm in need, then I could knock on their doors and vice versa. Community to me is everything. Everything. I can't even describe what community means to me. Probably won't tear it up, to be fair. I just love my community. I love everything. I love how we go out to help each other. Or if there's a family that's struggling, how we all pull together. I love the green spaces that we have in our community because, we are quite a built-up community. We have some lovely green spaces. I love how the local church support people. I love how things are put in place for our community. Like, we've got the Baseline Centre who help people endlessly in different ways. We are so lucky what we have in our community to support the people living in it that... No, I feel privileged living in the North Earlham. I don't think I'd want to live anywhere else.
I also like the diversity because I think we're the most diverse area in Norwich because we live just down the road from the UEA. If there's it's a really funny mix of people who live in social housing, people who there are some people who own their own homes, but it's like people who live in social housing and students. And a lot of people, some people have a bit of beef with the students and the cars and the rubbish, but generally, people sort of get on. So for me, the diversity of the area as well, I really like that. And people come into the church who aren't necessarily religious or who are a different religion, and everybody is just embraced and helped. The church had a Christmas dinner on Christmas Day, so they had 7 people go, I think. And I just think, how lovely is that they gave up their time on that day.
And the local pub, the Five Ways pub, they opened their doors for people for Christmas dinner, and that's just wonderful. Those that not just lonely or, need to come together with other people on Christmas. It was for families and everybody. The doors were open for everybody. Absolutely wonderful.
We talked once about there are communities within the community. So there are these little pockets of groups. But I think partly because of us, they have come together a bit more and they know more about each other, so are able to, come together to work together, which is great. One part of our job that we do is having conversations with people, and the information that we get from the conversations is put into an insights hub, which shows what people are saying. It gives people of our community a voice, and we're really proud of that. Anybody can see it now. It's up and live, and you can go and look and see what sort of people are saying about the community and what's strong and what's wrong.
What's wrong and what's strong in our community. We have lots of little groups within our community where community members are taking leadership. For instance, I live near a shotted house in next door, and they've set up recently, within the last couple of years, they've set up bingo. It's gone from once a week to twice a week, and the money that they raise, they then go on a social outing together. What I love about the job is finding out these little community things that are happening and then making, telling everybody about it. So we advertise a lot. Signpost people and just listen to the people's stories about how they feel about their community and stories of the past as well, because there's a lot of people that say, the community has changed, as most communities probably have over generations, but what they've done in the past for their community, for instance, we used to have wardens on bikes that regularly go round and that, and we don't have that now, but it's lovely to hear them stories and the difference that they made. And people that used to run play groups and stuff, it's all need to be documented, they fall into their time. And then sometimes, why don't you do that now? Is there a reason why you don't do that now? Did you know that there's certain places that are looking for volunteers? Because maybe the playgroup stopped running for whatever reason. Maybe they do have a few hours a week they want to give back to the community. We're able to then say, well, there's this in our community, and they're actually looking for some volunteers. Pop down, have a word. And then giving them opportunities to give back again.
School holidays can be sometimes a little bit challenging because a lot of the regular groups close for the holidays, and there's nowhere really, aside from kind of baseline centre, there's nowhere really where you can just sort of go and hang out. Places tend to be open at certain times, so sometimes it can be a bit like, what should we do this week? But then we met with this woman who works for the science festival at the Forum, and she came and met with us, and then as a result of that she went and did a science day morning at a local toddler group, and then that inspired them to run like a science holiday club in the school holidays. She wants to come back this year, and she's got money to take some children from the local schools to the science festival in half term. And I just think that, some families don't ever leave the estate. Some kids, they spend their whole summer holidays because people can't afford it, they don't have a car, public transport's expensive, so they just spend their whole time. So to do something like that would be amazing. And I spoke to a mum, and she was at the toddler group when they did the science stuff, and they did an experiment, and she took the experiment and did it with her school-age children when she got home. And I think that is what it's all about. Yeah. And this particular woman and her partner, they've only been in the area a few years, but they come to everything now. They've had so much support from the church, from Rainey and her group, from Baseline, and they've just been welcomed with open arms and, just helped, supported. So we're going to talk about our shoebox items that we bought now, but we'd like to start with a little bit of a chat about the shoebox. I had literally never heard of it before I got my job.
No, me neither. I do recall it being a shoe shop many, many years ago, though.
So basically the shoebox is a social enterprise on Castle Meadow, and they run the hidden street walk tours that are underneath Castle Meadow and various other tours around the city. I think they do a spooky one. Yeah. I think they do a lantern trail. And all of the money that they make from that, they put into the hub, where they run different groups for different people. So they have a baking group, they've got creative writing group. I think there's groups for people who are neurodivergent, people who suffer with bipolar and things like that. There's quite a few that go on. And then they got the funding for us as community connectors. But the shoebox is, it's a really lovely, warm,
it's a very warm, welcoming
place, and it has been a joy working for them. And the CEO Tom, he works very, very hard, and he's really supported us and made the job a lot easier, to be fair, and a lot more,
rewarding.
Yeah.
So if you are ever down that way,
pop in and see them and have a look at their timetables and see if there's anything on there that you fancy, and by all means go and do the tours, because they're fantastic.
Yeah, absolutely brilliant.
I feel privileged, and I won't say lucky, because it was my skill and charming personality that got me the job, not luck. I feel privileged, and to have been a part of this project, and I think we will leave a legacy behind, and I think we will be remembered, and we will be talked about. And obviously, you're very heavily involved in the community anyway, because
Yeah, this project has been absolutely wonderful. To be fair, it don't really feel like a job. It feels like we are just going into the community and we're listening. But that's the ripple effect that we have.
You're listening to Community Unboxed. Now, if you're feeling inspired or curious about the stories that you're hearing in this episode, and perhaps you want to find out more about the insights gathered in our neighbourhoods, you can. Head to communityconversations.info to learn more about this shoebox partnership project with Norwich City Council.
So we're going to go into our shoebox
objects. So what have you brought along, Rainey?
So we've both brought object today, and I have brought with me today is a fridge magnet. It's not a souvenir to remind me of a great holiday abroad or destination with the sun, sea or cocktails, where you leave all your worries behind. My magnet is a small piece of wood, about 7 centimetres by 7 centimetres square, with a colourful logo on. I didn't travel anywhere to receive this magnet. It was given to me by a community member, right here, what I would call home. I look at this small magnet daily with a smile on my face and with lots of warmth in my heart. This colourful, bright logo was designed by a local young person 10 years ago, where we held a competition to create a logo for a new upcoming community group. The logo has a paintbrush on, football boots, dance shoes, musical notes, microphone and a football. This logo represents new beginnings, community, social engagement, fun and games. Looking at this magnet, it brings hundreds of memories. It shows of hopes, dreams of a young person to be able to enjoy crafts, sports, to sing and dance, to be a child. It's a logo that allows young people to be young people. The words on the magnet says NR5 Community Hub. NR5, our home, our location. Known as the deprived area of Norwich with a high rate of antisocial behaviour. We wanted change. Community. Our neighbours, our friends, our family, our home. Our aim, to prevent social isolation and bring people together. Hub. A safe space that people could be proud of. Warm and welcoming. NR5 Hub was created. This magnet presents a group of local people coming together who wanted more in our community. A logo on a magnet that gave us inspiration and hope. A logo on a magnet that brought the community together. A logo on a magnet that has empowered a strong team of volunteers to make positive change in our community. A logo on a magnet that have brought so many smiles on people's faces. A logo on a magnet that has supported hundreds of local residents. A logo on a magnet that to me holds 1,000 memories. A logo on a magnet of a community group created 10 years ago to a well-established organisation that has grown and flourished alongside our community. When I walk past my fridge and I see this magnet, it brings smiles to my face and warmth in my heart, knowing that in the past 10 years, this has been so rewarding, giving back to my community.
Oh, Rainey, that was absolutely lovely. Really sums it up as well. That's absolutely what the hub is, and it means so much to so many people. And when I signpost, my first port of call is always the hub. Go to the hub on a Friday, whether it's go with your kids in the morning or go in the afternoon, and your community meals. They're my first port of call, because I know that if I can get them through the door to the hub, they're in.
There's lots of opportunities.
And that's it, because you know what you're talking about. So you, again, can continue to signpost. People get involved. There are people that we've met, that we've come across, who are regularly going to things, who are going to your groups, who are now, like we said before with that lady and her son. We changed their lives just by being there. And you change people's lives, Rainey, at the hub. It is amazing.
I think when you reflect back on a tiny piece of wood with a logo on, that after 10 years, that you've created something special and you give back to your community, and you probably all heard it in my voice that I actually did get rather emotional at some points there. I'm extremely proud to be NR5. I'm extremely proud of my community. I'm also extremely proud to have the opportunity that I had to become a community connector, working alongside the Shoebox Enterprise, and to be able to get to know my community a lot better. and together we can build stronger communities.
Absolutely. Well, so my shoebox item is a little bit further away from NR5. I've brought with me 2 little shot glasses, and they're shaped like boots. One is blue and one is yellow. They were originally a set of 6, and now there's 5 remaining. They came from Cyprus, which means a lot to me because my dad was a Greek Cypriot. So I grew up hearing about Cyprus, visiting Cyprus, and these shot glasses mean more to me in a sense because they were my mum's, and my mum and dad got divorced when I was 5. So it's nice that my mum has, that there's something from my mum that came from Cyprus from a time when her and my dad were happy. And he passed away 10 years ago this year, and when he was alive, it's like I didn't really, it was just part of my life, and he talked about Cyprus and we went to Cyprus, but I didn't really care because you don't when you're young and when you're, you know, a child and it's your dad rambling on in your ear about Cyprus and how all the things that have happened there. But since he died, you know, I've really looked into the history of Cyprus, you know, and there was a conflict there and it was divided with the Greeks and the Turkish people, and I've looked a lot more into that. And one of the shot glasses actually is from Famagusta, which is in the north of Cyprus, but my dad was born there, and they all had to flee. They fled to the south and were never able to go back. And it's really sad. People just literally, some people were in the middle of a meal and they got up and they left their houses to run for their lives. It happened right around the time I was born in the mid-70s. And my dad was already in England, but obviously he had family there and there was no social media, and my mum remembers him, you know, waiting by the phone for news. And I think it means a lot to me now because he left us, when he died, he left us some money, and we took me and my brother and my sister took our children. And now you can actually travel into northern Cyprus. So before he died, he did manage to go back to Cyprus, go back to the north and see where he was born. And to take my children there,
Oh yeah, I bet that's amazing.
it was really nice. And I'd never been to northern Cyprus. My older sister and my brother had been, and they kind of remembered a little bit more about it. But it was so nice. It was like putting an old coat on. The language, like, I don't speak Greek, but hearing people speak Greek, it's so familiar to me, and I understand so much more of it than I thought. And it's, you know, it's really, it really meant something to me. And this year I turned 50 and we're going to go back. We're going to go to the south. So I'm going to take them and try and find places that I visited as a child with my dad. And I have some family over there as well, so it'd be really nice to go and catch up with my family and, you know, learn more about it.
That's absolutely lovely, Sonya.
Yeah,
and I do hope that you have a wonderful 50th birthday out there.
Yeah, we're looking forward to it.
And you'll be able to share what memories you have with your own children.
Although I did say to my children, because they're 18 and 22, I said, you have to be excited. I said, we're going to go to Cyprus and I'm going to pull up somewhere and go, wow, look at this. And they'll be like, yeah, Mum, we'll stay in the car.
Now they go, woohoo, yeah, let's go.
Yeah, they've got to show enthusiasm. No, I'm really looking forward to it and looking forward to taking them back over there.
Thank you for sharing your shoebox item with me, Sonya.
Well, thank you for sharing yours. It's been, I think it's been a little bit of an emotional
It was
one.
rather emotional.
Well, and to round it up, you know, I have to say, I do think that you are amazing. I think you are an amazing person. I think you don't actually realise what you do
Well,
and
I'd
what
like
you
to say
mean to people.
that we actually did make a really good team.
But yeah, it's been a ride, that's for sure.
Yeah, it has, yeah.
I can't believe we signed on for a year
1 year and 3 years later.
and it's all over now. It's just...
It's kind of bittersweet, to
Yeah.
be fair. You know, I'm a great believer in one door shut and another door open, but this has been an opportunity that I don't think we'll ever get again.
No.
Oh, there's never be 2 more North Earlham community connectors like
No.
Sonya and Rainey. It's been so rewarding just to get to know our community better, and we've made friends.
But I
lots
think,
of friends over
I
it.
think Even though it's ending, I think I very much want to give back. I'm not going to just quit my job now and then disappear from sight. No one's ever going to see me again. I will still be out and about. And signposting. We're going to be signposting forever, I think.
Yeah, I think we're the two people to go to now, and that will take a long time for the community to realise actually we're not in post anymore, but that will just come naturally to us. They say
you're like a stick of rock, aren't you? If we cut you open, you'd have community running through your veins, I think.
Do take me out of my community though, and I'm not very comfortable with that. I do love the North Earlham. I'm very proud to be a girl from the North Earlham. I'm very proud to be a North Earlham community connector.
I'm much prouder of where I live now than I used to be, and I will admit that. When you get out there and you meet the people, it makes you humble and it makes you proud to be a part of that. Right, so I think that's about us wrapped up.
So this is Rainey and Sonya
signing off. Bye.
You've been listening to the North Earlham episode of Community Unboxed. For more information, head to theshoebox.org.uk.
Thank you for listening to Community Unboxed. If you're feeling like you'd like to connect more with the community around you, the Shoebox is an amazing place to start. There's something there for everyone, so please get in touch with us. Head to theshoebox.org.uk and get involved.